Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are going to tackle a super powerful tool that's pretty much essential if you're in web development or testing, Selenium WebDriver. We're going to break it down piece by piece and get you ready to put your browser on autopilot. Okay, let's just jump right in with a question. Have you ever wished you could just remote control a web browser? Make it open a website, click on buttons, fill out forms, all by itself? Well, that's not science fiction. That's exactly what Selenium WebDriver lets you do, and all it takes is a few lines of code. So what is this thing that puts your browser on autopilot? Well, to really get it, we're not going to settle for just one dry definition. No, we're going to look at it from three totally different angles. Each one gives you another piece of the puzzle. Yep, three key ways to think about it. And by the time we're done, you'll see the full picture clear as day. We'll start simple, seeing it as just one component in a bigger toolbox. Then we'll pop the hood and see its structure as a Java interface. And finally, we'll understand its true power as an API. First up, let's zoom out. Selenium isn't just one thing. It's a whole suite of tools. And in that suite, WebDriver is, well, it's the star of the show. You've got other things like the IDE for quick record and playback, and Grid for running tons of tests at once. But WebDriver is the engine. It's the core piece you use to build powerful, flexible automation scripts. Okay. Definition number 2. This one's a little more technical, but stick with me, it's super important. At its very core, WebDriver is a Java interface. Now, don't let the jargon scare you. Just think of an interface as a contract, or maybe a blueprint. It's a list of rules that says, hey, any WebDriver that wants to work with me must know how to do these things. Things like open a URL, find a button, or get the page title. It defines what can be done, but it leaves the how up to the individual browsers. And here is how that blueprint gets used. At the top, you have the WebDriver interface. That's the contract. Then you have a general class called Remote WebDriver that handles a lot of the common stuff. And then you have the specific classes for each browser, Chrome driver, Firefox driver, and so on. Each of these agrees to follow the rules of the main contract, but they each have their own unique way of talking to their specific browser. So what's the big deal? Why is this design so brilliant? It's this. You can write your test script one single time, and it will work on Chrome, Firefox, Edge, you name it. All you have to do is swap out which driver you start with. This is a game changer for efficiency. It's called cross-browser compatibility, and it's awesome. And that brings us to our third and most powerful definition. WebDriver is an API, Application Programming Interface. It sounds complicated, right? But it's not. An API is really just a messenger, a go-between, that lets two different computer programs talk to each other without needing to know all the messy details about how the other one works. To make this crystal clear, let's use the classic restaurant analogy. Think about it. You're the customer. You want food. The kitchen is the complex system that makes the food. Now, you don't just barge into the kitchen and start yelling orders, right? No way. You talk to the waiter. The waiter is the API. You give your request to the waiter translates it for the kitchen, and then brings the result, your food, back to you. In our world, your code is the customer, the web browser is the kitchen, and Selenium WebDriver, that's your super efficient waiter. So, in practice, your code sends a command like, hey, click this button. WebDriver, our API, receives that request. It then translates it into a very specific technical command that the browser's own engine can understand. It tells the browser what to do, the browser does it, and sometimes it even sends a response back. It's that critical link in the chain. Okay, so now we know what WebDriver is. Let's switch gears and talk about the how. How do you actually get this thing set up in your project? And listen, we're going to focus on the smart way. Because why would we do a bunch of manual work? The whole point is to automate things, and that includes automating our own setup. You've really got two paths you can take here. There's the old school manual way, which is, well, it's a pain. It's cumbersome, it's easy to make mistakes, and updating is a total nightmare. Or you can use a build tool like Maven. The Maven way is automated, it's reliable, and updating is a breeze. It's not much of a choice, is it? I mean, just look at this list. This is the manual way. You have to go find the Selenium website, hunt for the right version, download a big zip file, extract all these little jar files, and then one by one manually add them to your project settings. And the kicker? You have to do it all over again every time there's an update. It's a recipe for disaster. But thankfully, oh so thankfully, there is a much better way. And this is it. Look at how clean that is. Instead of all those crazy manual steps, with Maven, you just add this one little block of text. It's called a dependency to a single file in your project. That's it. Maven reads that, automatically goes out to the internet, downloads all the correct files for you, and links them into your project. And updating, you just change that version number. It's simple, it's elegant, it's the right way to do it. All right, we've got the concepts down, we've got our project set up the smart way. Now for the fun part. Let's bring it all home and write our very first simple automated test. First things first, we need a browser. This one line of code here does all the magic. When your program runs this, it creates a new instance of the Chrome driver. And like magic, a fresh, clean Chrome browser window just pops up on your screen, ready and waiting for your commands. Okay, the browser is open. Now we need to tell it where to go. We use that driver object we just created, and we call the .get method. We just pass in the website address we want to visit, and WebDriver tells the browser to navigate straight to that page. Easy as that. Now, this is key. Automation isn't just about doing things, it's about checking things. Here, we're calling the getTitle method. We're asking the browser, hey, what's the title of the page you're on? We can then save that title and compare it to what we expect it to be. This is the heart of automated testing, verifying the things are correct. And finally, once we're done with our test, we have to clean up after ourselves. The close command is exactly what it sounds like. It tells WebDriver to shut down the browser window it opened. It's just good practice to always close up shop when you're done. So there you have it. In just a few minutes, we've completely unpacked what WebDriver is, how to set it up properly, and how to write a basic script. We've gone from a simple question to a real piece of working automation. So the only question left for you is, what will you automate first?